In this video, I want to test a very interesting theory, a very interesting strategy that exists in our community, which was developed by our managers, and now I want to put it to the test. For this, we only need one indicator, the CCI. We add it to the chart and we'll work with it, setting the period to 15. The indicator is set up, and now we're ready to get started. Let's go step by step. Let's break down this strategy together now, see what it includes, and as a result, after watching this video, you'll be able to earn quite well using this strategy. Since right now, you can see the results of our students who have already used it and achieved success. So, let's get started with this strategy. And by the way, yes, in this video I'm going to try to grow my deposit from $200, let's say, at least triple it, or maybe even quadruple it. To start, I choose the euro to Swiss franc currency pair and allocate about 25, actually, exactly 25% of my deposit. Although right now, at this moment, the values are outside our normal range, so I'll skip this currency pair for now and explain why a bit later. Let's pick the euro to US dollar pair for a 1-minute trade. And with BoosterBot, we can trade using this strategy very safely. I get a buy signal and open a buy trade right from here. Let's break down what's happening here. Yes, right now we had a buy signal. So on one hand, BoosterBot is already doing all the analysis. But look, we could also visually observe when there was, for example, overbought conditions, like here, or when there was oversold conditions. And accordingly, if you see that the indicator is moving out of the working zone at that moment, then you don't open any trades. Yes, BoosterBot is a machine that's specifically designed to do the analysis. But we have some very extreme readings, and actually, we can filter out up to 20 or even 30% of trades just with this one indicator. In the settings, you just set the period to 15. You don't need to do anything else. And we open a trade with BoosterBot very simply, only when the CCI indicator is within the working range, that is, between 100 and minus 100. So, within these two values, in the middle, we can work confidently. Alright, not a bad profit. Let's make the next trade for 25% as well. That's already 61 bucks. As you can see, the trade is bringing me a nice, solid profit. And why? For example, shouldn't you open trades here? Let's talk about that. Look, if at the moment we see a situation like this, and BoosterBot can, for example, analyze that here we'll get a sell signal or maybe a buy signal, but you see a huge impulse like this in the moment. So first of all, you might not have time to enter the trade, right? If BoosterBot gives you a buy signal in a moment, but the price is already up here, basically, the market just gets overheated, and as a result, we're going to see a really strong pullback now. It's the same thing with overselling. If you just don't manage to enter the trade in time, that's a loss. So these are very risky zones that we skip. Remember, if you see that the CCI goes above 100 or below minus 100, we skip those situations. So here, at the top and bottom, we don't trade. We only work in the middle. Please remember this. This is really important information. Let's look at the Euro Swiss franc. The price has come back, or rather, the CCI values have returned to the working range. So now we can ask BoosterBot where the price is going to go on this currency pair. Let's do just that. I select the Euro Swiss franc currency pair and get a buy signal. I open my buy trade right from here. So, as we can see, the currency pair matches. Yes, we have a buy signal, and the CCI indicator value is in the middle zone. This serves as a visual marker for us. It's something BoosterBot can read, but it can't warn you about it, since it just sees huge numbers. Yes, for example, that you shouldn't open a trade, or that it would be too risky. That's why we have strength indicators. Actually, we also have indicators from other tools. And I recommend you ask our managers what these indicators are responsible for. Yes, what these metrics mean. Although, actually, I recently went over the fact that, for example, our CCI indicates the strength between buyers and sellers. RSI does as well, accordingly. It's just that they measure it a bit differently. RSI shows us the current trend, right now, in the moment, while CCI looks at it more globally, meaning the overall balance between bullish and bearish strength. That's why, together with you, we'll just visually use this indicator to understand whether it's worth trading right now or not. There really are some currency pairs that are just easier to skip and not trade at all. Alright, that's another $51. And now let's take a quick look. Now I can open trades at 40%. That's $119. And at the same time, I won't really be risking much. So I'll still be in profit. But okay, let's put it this way. If we lose $120 right now, then I'll only be down 20 bucks. So the loss would be pretty small. Alright, now, I suggest we quickly take a look at the trades. But before that, let me remind you that you can find BoosterBot right now via the link in the description. This bot is available to our community, so join us and grab this trading machine. If you have any questions, just reach out to our support account. The team will be happy to help you and answer all your questions, whether it's about the trading bot, settings, or strategies. In short, all of this is waiting for you at the link in the description. With our community, you can really make money, and in just a few weeks too. This isn't a myth, it's reality. We have a lot of students. Here, let me show you a couple more examples of people who have been earning with us for quite a while. Now, let's move on to what you could call an accelerated mode and try to increase my balance. Australian Canadian dollar. I'm choosing this currency pair. and I'm setting the trade time to 1 minute. I'm getting a buy signal. Right from here, I open a buy trade for $119. So now, all I have to do is just watch this trade. That is, the CCI indicator values were exactly within the working range. Buy signal, currency pair, direction. Basically, everything matches up. So, all that's left is to wait. A very unpleasant situation just happened, and the trade closed at a loss. But I'm showing everything as it is. So, apparently, either I messed up the entry point somewhere, since we only had -3 points there, or the booster bot made a mistake. That happens too. Yeah, this robot doesn't have a 100% success rate. It varies from about 70 to 90%. And as you can see, the price kept going up after that. So, it's an unpleasant moment. But still, it happens. Alright, let's open the next trade all in for $179. Still, I trust its stats. And now we'll just pick a more suitable currency pair. The next currency pair I'm choosing is the US dollar and Canadian dollar. There's a good movement here, the CCI is in the middle. So I'm picking this currency pair in the booster bot and waiting for a signal. I get a buy signal. Right from here, I'm opening my buy trade for $179. So, at the moment when I open my trade, the CCI values were about here, meaning it was a safe entry point. And we also have a nice upward movement here, so the trade should be relatively safe. Just look at this great movement, plus $150. Let's go for the next trade for exactly the same $150 and open it. I'm choosing the US dollar to Japanese yen currency pair. The price is right on the edge here, but let's see what the booster bot tells us now. Here's another very interesting point. If the bot gives a sell signal at the moment, just like here, and our price is, look, we can basically trade from this area for a sell. So, if the CCI indicator shows that the value is somewhere around here, we could open sell trades, it will be safe. And the same goes the other way around. If we see that the CCI indicator is at the bottom, and the booster bot gives a buy signal, that's a pretty safe trade, because after such an oversold condition, we'll get a good move. Basically, this indicator shows us overbought and oversold conditions. Who's dominating right now, buyers or sellers? So, if someone has overdone it, we can expect an inevitable move down or up, in the opposite direction, to put it simply. A great trade brings me $138. As you can see, I've already doubled my deposit. And let's open the next trade in what's called break even. So now, if I lose on this trade, I won't lose anything except for the time I spent recording this video. But if I win, I'll get a really good amount, and I'm not risking my initial deposit. So I'm going to open the next trade for $267, and I want to open this trade on the same currency pair. Let's see how the booster bot performs on the second currency pair. Again, US dollar and Japanese yen. Right now, this currency is nicely positioned in the middle, and here the signal is already for a buy. It was a sell signal, and now it's switched to a buy. That's a good move. We had a pullback, which we profited from. And now, apparently, the booster bot has detected a different movement and gave me a buy signal. I suggest we keep an eye on this trade. Hopefully, it will be profitable and the final one. An excellent final trade brings me $245, and as you can see, I've increased my deposit 3.5 times, all in just one video. Yeah, there was one trade. Well, it's unclear why that one closed at a loss. Maybe I miscalculated, I'll review it. Maybe the booster bot made a mistake, that happens too. But the most important thing is that there's $700 in the account. Initially $200. All of this is thanks to the booster bot and the CCI indicator, which steers you away from unnecessary trades. Once again, remember, we don't trade in the upper and lower zones, meaning those between 100 and 300, and it's the same for the lower side. If you see that the CCI indicator value is at -100 or -300, we don't trade. So we only trade within this narrow range, from 100 to -100. This is where all our profit will be. Anything above that is already unsafe. Please remember this. So once again, I remind you that the booster bot is available to our entire community. If you want to know how to activate it, you can either ask our support team or just follow the link in the description and activate it yourself. Make use of this method. It really works and helps you earn money. With that, I'll say goodbye for now. I wish you a great day, success in trading, and see you soon.